Police have issued a warning after a talented footballer drowned following a night out in Chelmsford. An inquest has recorded a verdict of accidental death on 22-year-old Adam Parsfield. But today a businessman told Look East the River Chelmer was still a death trap for clubbers.
The increasingly desperate search for Adam Parsfield went on for over a week last Christmas. Adam was 22 and a talented footballer. He fell into a river after a night out in Chelmsford. CCTV spotted him making a telephone call outside a nightclub in the town. The cameras then picked him up walking along this riverside path out of Chelmsford town centre, and the inquest heard that the footage showed him veering and staggering towards the river. His family were at today's inquest. They said Adam would be in their hearts forever. Snow and ice made walking conditions treacherous on the night Adam drowned. The officer who led the search issued a fresh warning to clubbers.
I just want them to take care, really, let people know where they're going, make sure that they're not wander home alone, take well-established routes home where there's plenty of people about. But one town centre businessman says there should be more railings where Adam fell in. Are you worried that the same thing might happen again if they don't do something about it?
Yes, definitely, yeah. And I think that could happen even next year or this year. It's a death trap, really.
The coroner recorded a verdict of accidental death. She hoped the family would be able to treasure happy memories of Adam. Gareth George, BBC Look East.
An investigation is underway into a fire on an industrial estate in Chelmsford last night. It's thought to have started in a warehouse but spread to a furniture factory and 3 other units. 50 firefighters took more than 3 hours to bring it under control. Jobs could be going at the Broads Authority, which is in charge of the Norfolk and Suffolk Broads. Funding from the government could be cut by £1 million over the next 4 years. The authority says it's reviewing what it does.
The first national service of dedication to remember those who've lost their lives to anorexia or bulimia has been held at Southwark Cathedral. It was organised by the charity Beat. Pauline Robinson from Worsted in Norfolk was at the service. Her 18-year-old daughter Charlotte died 3 years ago, weighing just 5.5 stone. This is her story.
Charlotte was a really lovely and wonderful daughter and sister and friend to lots of people, and she was an amazing person to know, and I miss her very much. The awfulness of this illness is that it still drove her to exercise and to keep going and keep on, got her straight A's and her A levels, although unfortunately she never lived to see that. But that's how awful it is, that you still carry on and keep doing your best, and yet really you should be getting treatment. I don't know where it all came from. I don't know how it took over her life and our life, and I realise now that's the very nature of this awful illness, that it does creep up on everyone. It just becomes such a powerful force that no one can seem to control it. People will say the easiest of things. I've said it. Can you not just eat a bit more? And my daughter said, and I will always remember, don't you think I would if I could? And yes, of course you would. It is an illness, it's not anybody attention seeking, it's not a fad diet, it's an illness. And nobody, trust me, nobody would just do this as a fad. It's just awful.
Pauline Robinson. Now, the story of a woman from Norfolk who grew up in a religious sect will be featured in a BBC programme later tonight. The story of Lindsay Rosa is one of 15 picked from more than 7,000 for the TV series My Story.
As a child, Lindsay Rosa grew up in a world that was strictly controlled. No books, television or outside influences. Then when she was 7, everything changed.
My brother was accused of having a radio in his car. And because of that, we were shut up and then excommunicated from the sect. And in effect, we were told not to have anything to do with any of the other members in the sect.
Her parents continued living by the extreme rules, but the repressive lifestyle began to make Lindsay ill. At 19, she decided to leave.
I couldn't get married. I couldn't, have a career, and I couldn't go to university. Those options were out of my hands. So I guess, I can look back and say most definitely that was a point in my life I had to take control myself.
Her family sent countless letters trying to persuade her back.
They belong to something which doesn't allow them to have contact with me because they think that I have the devil in me. They think that I have left of my own choice.
It was only in meeting her partner Tom and having a family herself that Lindsay was able to take control of her life.
I'm much more content, much more happy, settled, calmer than I've ever been in my life. And I truly feel I'm moving forward. I'm finding who Lindsay truly is and respecting that for the first time.
Lindsay Rosa finishing that report, and you can see my story on BBC One tonight at 10:35. Football, and in the Championship tonight, Norwich will hope to bounce back from Saturday's defeat. They host Leicester, who are bottom and lost 6-1 last week. Ipswich Town, who are still unbeaten away from home, travelled to Reading.
They seem to score lots of goals. Again on Saturday, 3 goals at home with 10 men. So we have to be at our best. We certainly need to start better than we did the other day. But I keep saying, we have to play well to get a result. But I think for Reading to get a good result against us, they have to be at their best. So set up for a very, very good game.
I know the 10 men never helped them. And they're battered and bruised at the minute, which means it could be a dangerous animal. So, but if we play the way we have been and we get everybody on our side and go for the first goal, then hopefully they'll capitulate.
Well, in League One, Colchester, who are still unbeaten this season, play Dagenham and Redbridge, and in League Two, Southend go to Gillingham. Coverage of all the games tonight on your BBC local radio station. The right to use the name Team Lotus in Formula One will be